Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen Workshop. It is August 5th, 2025, and it is 5:30 p.m. The prayer on Thursday night will be with Vice Mayor No, the Pledge of Allegiance with Alderman Coates. Everyone should have a copy of the minutes from the June 26, 2025 workshop, the July 1st public hearing and regular meeting, and the July 14th special meeting. Moving on, we have some presentations. So, Ms. Jules, if you could come help me with this. Oh, yes. You want to hold it? Mr. Randy, come on up.
Yay, Randy!
Let's give him a round of applause. So we wanted to present you with one of the bricks from the grand opening for the Laverne Public Works facility, for everything you've done with getting it coordinated and up to par. And we appreciate what you do.
It's not just me.
So this is for, it just represents all of the maintenance team and the parks team. You guys have been amazing. We just wanted to recognize you. So this will go in y'all's building somewhere.
Okay.
Randy probably want to put it in his office, but maybe y'all can put it out somewhere where you can see
We'll put
it.
it where everybody can see it.
Just take turns throwing it.
Yeah, we
So.
can pitch it.
Yes, just pitch that injury for us.
Thank you, Randy.
We
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
And then we've got some certificates, so, yeah. So we're going to start off with Mr. Glenn, if you could come up. Glenn Green. Hello, sir.
Hello.
You're not used to being on this side.
No,
Used to being
He
behind
didn't
the
know about
computer.
this. He thought it was just his team.
very rare.
So this is a certificate of appreciation for your dedication and hard work through the entire Public Works CDS facility move and transition, and for making our grand opening such a success. And I can tell you that area, at least technologically with signals, is a dead zone. But you've got it to where we've got Wi-Fi all throughout that building, and it works and it's streamlined.
Yep.
So
We
thank
worked
you.
hard on that.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then we've got Jaquan Hall. Come on down. And then we also have Jason Turner.
And then I don't see Jackie.
All right. Let's just hold Jackie.
This is Jason's.
Nope, you're staying right.
And
And then,
I'll give Jackie to yours and Doug's.
so again, this is all part of our IT team working with Glenn. And anytime y'all have requests, y'all have any kind of issues, these are the guys and Glenn that gets those results. So, thank you guys.
Thank
We
you, guys.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
We got a whole team.
Yes. They can
So,
always come up here.
Yeah, well, this is all parks, right?
This is, let's see.
Parks and maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna make it a lot simpler. David McGowan, come on up, and let's get the parks and the maintenance teams on up here. So,
Yay.
come on. So, no, you
Y'all can
go,
come over
go,
here.
you can come over here. Come on over here, Mr. Webb.
Trying to hide the back.
Come on over. Come on over. Come here, buddy. So, this is, each one of you are getting a certificate of appreciation for your dedication and hard work throughout the entire Public Works facility move and transition to help make it such a success. This is a team effort. This couldn't be done by any one person. So, we wanted to recognize y'all and thank y'all for all your hard work with that. So, thank you, and we appreciate y'all.
me just say something real quick about this group of people here. You guys may not know their names, but you see them in every single building in the city. We could not do what we do without them. These guys make my job look way easy, make me look good. A lot of times I wonder if I even have to show up due to the staff.
You do.
Thank you. They're doing all of this and still cutting grass twice a week. So, we could take a million more of these guys and the city would be a whole lot better. So I just want to show my appreciation to them. Amazing staff, amazing group of people, do the right thing, when you're looking, especially when you're not looking. So my thanks and appreciation goes out to them. And by the way, I think they're gonna cut out, so, they don't wanna,
They don't want to.
they don't wanna be here for the next 3 hours.
So again, this was a team effort, so thank you to everybody who was part of that to get this move, us getting into this new building possible. So thank you, everyone. We're going to move on. We've got no one signed up for public comment period. Thursday, we will have departmental reports. And then we're going to move on to item number 5, which is second reading, ordinance 2025-16, an ordinance to amend Title 7, Chapter 2 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the fire code. And again, this was discussed last month. Does anyone have any questions for Ronnie? Seeing none, we're going to move on to number 6. Second reading, ordinance 2025-17, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne fee schedule. Again, this is second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Number 7, second reading, ordinance 2025-18, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 general fund budget. And again, this is second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Number 8, second reading, ordinance 2025-19, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 State Street Aid Fund budget. Again, this is second reading. Is there any questions? And the last item for old business is going to be second reading, ordinance 2025-20, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget. And again, this is second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, we're going to move on into the consent agenda. First, we have got approve or reject city bids and purchases. And first up, we've got the Sourcewell contract purchase. This is to replace the football field lights at Veterans Memorial Park with LED fixtures. This was discussed at budget, and the quote for this is $166,878, and this is budgeted through the Parks Capital Project Fund. Does anyone have any questions?
If this passes, David, if this passes, what's the ETA?
They have to order them, so we're probably looking at 2 months.
Okay, so you said 2 months. That's a commitment, right, David?
What?
He said that's close. Okay, number 2, Sourcewell contract purchase Ford Transit F-350 sewer line camera truck. And this is for the Public Works Department. It's $323,775.75. This is a budgeted item and will be paid out of the sewer department budget. Does anyone have any questions? Number 3, Sourcewell contract purchase IGM Gravity software from Vertosoft LLC for the Finance Department budgeting software. This is essentially modernizing the software that we use for our finance department, and you can see the different platforms that were reviewed. and the costs associated. Does anyone have any questions? We do have a representative from Gravity here, if you do. Okay. Moving on to number 4, state contract purchase, 5 vehicles for the police department. And this is coming out of the police impact fee budget. They're $44,876 each. Total price is $224,380, and this is through Ford of Murfreesboro. Does anyone have any questions?
Have any delivery times on these?
I'm sorry, sir?
Delivery, when they're going to be delivered?
That's a good question. With the delays that they've had in the auto industry, we've seen delays of 8-12 months. So we're hoping to get them by the first of the year.
Okay. Any other questions? Moving on to number 5, state contract purchase, radar for these new police vehicles. And so each unit is $2,899, so the total for it is $14,495. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Moving on to number 6, Omnia Partners contract purchase in-car video systems and laptop computers for the new police vehicles. The in-car video and laptop computer will cost $16,297.24, and so the total cost for this will be $81,486. Does anyone have any questions? And then the last item for the bids and purchases, we've got the University of Tennessee contract purchase, emergency equipment and installation for the new police vehicles. And this is, I actually think I hopped over the last one. No, I'm on the right one. It's the equipment's $16,279.42. Total cost is $81,397. Does anyone have any questions? There is a lot that goes into the police vehicles. So moving on to B, approved scope of work and professional services agreement with Get Rescue 911 for police department dispatch staffing services. And this is just what it sounds like. Total for the 3 contract communication specialists is $206,400 with $26,400 due at the time of contract signing. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to C. Approve amendment number 5 to the professional services agreement with Reagan Smith Associates, LLC for the design phase of the proposed South Waldron Road widening project. This is exactly what it sounds like. The cost for the additional services is just over $48,000. And does anyone have any questions on this? Moving on to D, approve amendment number 2 to the professional services agreement with Johnson, Miraran, and Thompson, JMT, for additional right-of-way acquisition services needed for the proposed South Waldron Road project. And again, that's just like it sounds. It's additional services, and there's essentially with this, there's been some scope of work changes, and JMT is requesting an amendment to their contract in the amount of $155,662. And then due to some surveying errors and rework with JMT, the additional cost is $43,562. Reagan Smith has agreed to reimburse the city for these costs. Does anyone have any questions? E, approve agreement with Reagan Smith Associates, LLC to reimburse the city for services rendered by JMT for the right-of-way acquisition. And that's what we were just discussing. Does anyone have any questions on that? Moving on to F, approve Christmas Creek Mitigation Bank Credit Purchase Agreement required for environmental permitting of the Blair Road West Expansion Project. And this is just like it sounds. It's purchasing credits in regards to it's wetland credits specifically around for mitigating all the waterways through there. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to G, approve a modification to the contract for the construction of Brookside Neighborhood Park. And this is, again, it's a modification of our contract. The original price was $452,000. This modification is $10,106.25. This is over the budget shown in the present city budget, and budget amendment is on the agenda to allocate this. Part of the cost will be partially offset by TDEC. Does anyone have any questions on that? Moving on to H, approve final change order number 4 with Isengard Construction Group Incorporated for the 2019 Interceptor Improvements Project. This is as far as the financial summary, it's the decreased construction cost is $51,305.67. So puts the final contract price at $2,918,808.69, which, if you remember, we budgeted $3 million for this, so this puts that just below it. Does anyone have any questions? Bruce, keep bringing us change orders like this that go down.
I'd like to.
Moving on to I, approved professional services agreement and scope of work with Navi Retail Incorporated for economic development services. This is annual contract with Navi Retail. We work with them as far as for data, for leads. Casey and his team and Richard have always been very responsive with any of the reports we need. They go out to some of the conventions. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to J, approve consolidated statement of work and renewal services provided by Civic Plus. And this specifically is the city's website. And so the annual cost is $42,493.65. These will be budgeted in next year's budget. The work will begin July 1st of 26. Does anyone have any questions on that? And then the last one, which is Michael Dietz's favorite one, is K, approve street paving and striping for the fiscal year 2025-2026. It will include the following streets or portions of the following streets: 73rd Avenue, Alsop Lane, Campbell Place, Center Street, Fergus Road, Floyd Mayfield Drive, Frontier Lane, Ingle Street, Jefferson Pike, Madison Square Boulevard, not Garden, this isn't New York, Macon Street, Markham Drive, Mason Road, Sanders, Sullivan Trail, Taylor Drive, and Toon Drive. You should have all of the quotes from Hawkins Asphalt and Kerr Brothers, and the total amount for this is $1,287,475. We budgeted $1.16 million, so typically these come in lower once we get the actual work done. We will have a look at that. If it is higher, then we'll do a budget amendment, and if it's not higher, then we'll take that ball and run with it. Anyone have any questions? Michael, these are all based on that report that we just recently had? That's correct, yes, sir. Bless you. Wonderful. Now moving on to new business. First reading ordinance 2025-21. An ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 29, parcel 38. Property consists of approximately 4.36 acres. Property located at 782 Waldron Road. This is currently an R1 low-density zoning district, and it's proposed as a C2 highway service commercial zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on June 24th, 2025. And then this Thursday at 5:45, we will have a public hearing on this property. This is Corey and Tracy McClellan's property. They do not have a use as far as like a specific user in mind for this currently, but they see the progress that's going on around them and wanted to go through the zoning ordinance to get their property changed to a commercial zone. The Planning Commission pushed back on that, so he went ahead and put in for a regular rezoning for this property. It will back up to a PDR, which is through the city IDB and equitable that was recently approved by this body. Does anyone have any questions? And speaking with the property owners, they will be here on Thursday. Moving on to number 12. First reading, ordinance 2025-22, an ordinance to amend Title II of the Laverne Municipal Code by deleting Title II, Chapter 3, regarding the Local Emergency Planning Committee. Ronnie, do you want to take this one? Because I see a letter in there from you.
Yes, sir. Happy to. I've been a member of the LAPC here in Laverne for the 5 years that I've been with the city. We've met very few times, and it's not based on a desire to meet, but basically a needs assessment. In my first year, I didn't pay a lot of attention, trying to get my feet on the ground. The second year, Fire Marshal Curtis Brinkley and myself tried to engage local Tier 2 reporting companies within the city of Laverne to get them involved, and the recommendation would be to bring them on to the LAPC. We had agreements with participation, and then they would retract that agreement. Just verbal discussions. So, yeah, we'd love to be part of it, then they would retract. I believe 2 years ago, Bruce, we allotted 3 spots on the LAPC, and we have not been able to fill those voids with those Tier 2 reporting companies. If you look at the background of what LEPC is and where it comes from out of the EPA guidelines, the recommendations are to have those companies. It is historically and used across the United States as a means of preparing for hazardous material spills, and requires us to do notifications and plannings and trainings, exercises. It's a tremendous amount of work. The reality is that even if we were able to staff those 3 Tier 2 seats, that if we had a drill, it would take more manpower than the city of Laverne could put forward in fire, police, emergency response, hazardous material. It would take a regional effort either from Nashville Fire for resources for mutual aid and or Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, town of Smyrna. So talking with the EMA director, Chris Clark, there is a LEPC at the county level, and my recommendation is to remove us or dissolve our local LEPC and then participate in the Rutherford County LEPC. I don't consider this us losing or giving up anything. I consider it to step up into a new level field to where we're going to be working routinely with the partners that we would have to engage to mitigate an incident in this city. We do have one local company that we met with just days before I drafted that document, and they said they would participate at the county level. We already are members of the county LEPC. We already have seats at that table. They have a new person promoted into a position that she will facilitate these exercises and these tabletops. We have our first meeting on September 3rd, I believe is the correct date. To me, it's a better use of our time, resources, and efforts. When I look, I'm just reading what has to happen, and frankly, we just do not have the manpower to facilitate this at the local level. And as far as my understanding, it truly never has been flexed at that level. Is that correct, Bruce? I know that's a long-winded answer, but that hopefully takes care of some questions.
Anyone have any questions for Chief
So-
Beasley?
There's a part of me that agrees with all of that, but we went to MTAS meetings last week, and MTAS, their people strongly suggest that each city has that board.
We will be, currently, we are the only city in this region that has an LEPC.
I get that. There's a couple other things that they talked about that nobody else has that we have.
Yes, sir.
But I guess if, as a department head, if you feel that strong about it and we don't have to adhere to MTAS, I guess,
Those are just,
I don't,
we use MTAS on a routine basis, and I hold both of those gentlemen from the fire side of MTAS as subject matter experts. We currently have a EOC that we can facilitate, and then there's going to be trainings through those. It's been a great effort on the PD side with Aaron coming on board and Chief Hatcher coming on board with some of the trainings that helps us in that capacity. But the LAPC, that just quite frankly, we don't have the manpower to do that within this city, and we don't have the participation of the Tier 2 reporters to truly run it at its capacity. So it would be nice to have one out of here, maybe one out of the town of Smyrna, something out of the county, and then we could facilitate. My experience is you have a choice of how that LEPC is staffed, and from the chairperson down, some cities choose to allow the Tier 2 reporters to run the LEPC committee, and we're just members of that body, and we facilitate what they host the drills. They have the money to host the drills. They have the manpower and the tools and appliances, and we participate prepping for those incidents. Again, the Rutherford County EMA is prepared to fully work through this at the county level.
Bruce, how many times has this met the last 2 years? Anyone?
Maybe once or twice in the last 2 years. There's just not been a lot of need to have the local meetings. We don't really have any topics to discuss or prepare for.
Ronnie, during our training, we were at the gentleman on the fire. He spoke very highly of you and your team.
Well, thank you. And let me also say this. This does not take us away from our pre-planning that we're already doing, that we do at a fire department level. It does not prevent us from training and making efforts to work with the local Tier 2 reporters. Many of these companies have confined spaces, and they list us as their rescue team, so they must provide us access to those facilities if they're going to use that. So we'll still have the engagement at the local level, but the reality is that when we had that 8,000-gallon gasoline tanker turned over on the interstate, we couldn't handle that incident. Metro Nashville came with mutual aid, gave us fire companies and hazardous material companies, and we worked through getting a cleanup company. It just does not make sense at the local level for us.
as long as there's no repercussions from MTAS, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, you're under no obligation to obey what MTAS tells you. It's purely an advisory.
All right.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to number 13, first reading ordinance 2025-23, an ordinance to amend Title 7, Chapter 6, Section 7-615 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding permissible dates and times of discharging of fireworks, topic we all know and love. So this is coming as a suggestion by the police department to amend the times for 4th of July and New Year's for when fireworks can be discharged. The current time for July 4th and December 31st is 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And the police department suggested changing the end time to either 12:30 a.m. or 1 a.m. The following morning. This would allow residents to discharge fireworks at midnight, which is a popular time to celebrate each of these holidays. Anyone have any questions on this?
I agree with New Year's Eve. I do not agree with July 4th.
Okay. Any other conversation?
I would concur with that. I mean, it just, obviously New Year's Eve is New Year's Eve and everyone's doing their midnight stuff, but on July the 4th, it's been a long day for everybody, and by the time it gets to late, it's going to feel starting to close in for the evening.
Most people, you're talking about 12:30 or 1 on the actual July 4th, not July 3rd, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because the majority of people have to work on the 5th, whereas the majority of the people do not have to work on the 1st. But I get it, and personally, I like the New Year's part. I don't agree with the July 4th.
Any other conversation?
That's it. We're not going to fight and battle.
You said we're not throwing out candy.
I mean, you know, I'm holding this dear to my heart, but I still disagree.
I tried to bribe you with cheese curds.
Moving on to first reading ordinance 2025.
So come Thursday night, do we vote to change that, or do you change it before Thursday, or we have to vote on it first?
They're on Thursday. Anyone on the board who's present can make a motion. If there's a second, then we vote on it. And they can specifically state how their motion would like to be worded. And Bruce will diligently handwrite it all down.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now, first reading ordinance 2025-24, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025-2026 capital funds, or capital projects fund budget. And so this is for the Brookside Park. This is an additional $10,106.25. Does anyone have any questions? This is tied to what we were discussing with the consent agenda. Moving on.
Say it's,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of this is all tied together for this whole agenda. Resolution 2025-15, a resolution to accept the Brookside Phase 2 subdivision. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on June 24th, 2025. This is just like it sounds. This is for the backside of Brookside Phase 2. Any questions? Moving on to 16, Resolution 2025-16, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. We've got a mixture of items here. We've got the drop box that was used for water billing. We've got some filing cabinets, a safe. We've got some chairs, some gym equipment, some L-shaped desks, all included in this. And you can see the photos in your packet and descriptions of all of these items. This is pretty routine, but does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, moving on to 17. Resolution 2025-17, a resolution to approve a land acquisition policy for additional real property interests needed for the South Waldron Road widening project. And again, this is all tied together with South Waldron, but essentially this is just looking at more acquisition. We've got documents for Phase 1, Batch 2, and so it's a lot of different items with it, but you can see in the spreadsheet portion all the different items, the locations of it. And so this includes everything from Rutherford County schools to individual homes, as far as the front parts of their property, not the homes itself. But anyone have any questions on this? Okay, moving on to 18. Resolution 2025-18. Initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $25 million general obligation bonds of the city of Laverne, Tennessee. And so the bond issues for $25 million will be paid from the general funds or street capital funds for 20 years. The annual amount of principal and interest is unknown at this time, but it's estimated at $1.875 million. Does anyone have any questions on this?
Are those bonds, I've been meaning to ask you this because I don't know, are those bonds like if you we get extra business and get extra money, do you pay extra on them or just keep that same?
Yes, it's a schedule that you pay over the course of the bond. And so you pay your principal and your interest.
So you can't never put more money towards it if you get more money?
No, you have to be refunded.
Okay.
That would have to be something.
Always wondered about that.
Okay, moving on to 19, Resolution 2025-19, a resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $25 million in aggregate principal amount of general obligation bonds for the city of Laverne, Tennessee, making provision for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition of proceeds therefrom, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of the principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds. That's a mouthful, but this is just tied to that bond. Does anyone have any questions? And this is for the Blair West and South Walden Road widening project. Moving on to number 20, Resolution 2025-20. Initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $20 million water and sewer revenue and tax bonds for the city of Laverne, Tennessee. And this, again, is another bond issuance. It'll be paid from the water and sewer funds for 20 years, and it's estimated at $1.5 million. Does anyone have any questions on that? And then number 21, Resolution 2025-21, resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $20 million in aggregate principal amount of water and sewer revenue and tax bonds of the city of Laverne, Tennessee, making provision for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and disposition of proceeds therefrom, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds. Does anyone have any questions? We do have a representative here from the bond company, if you do. I tried. Okay, and then moving on to the next item, which is appoint or remove board and committee members. Again, we've got the Beautification Arts and Advisory Committee. We've still got 2 vacancies on that one. If we don't have any applicants by the meeting time, this will be pulled off of the agenda, but this is being advertised on Channel 3 and social media. With that, we're going to go to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Coates.
Nothing this evening.
Okay. Vice Mayor, no.
Yes, sir. I got, as I said earlier, we went to the MTAS classes last week, and there was probably 25 different cities in there. And all of the instructors, and we sat and listened, and they all, like I was telling Ronnie about what their recommendations and everything was. And every time they would ask us or ask the class, does your city have this? Does your city have that? Me and Alderman Coates and Alderwoman Haas, and people would look at us and stuff, and they would ask us questions afterwards, and, well, yeah, this is what we've got. And they really had a lot of high praises, Mr. Coates said, about our fire department, our police department. They even high praised Andrew's department.
We'll take it.
But but I feel really, really proud that I'm a part of that conversation, because it, they would ask questions like, how many of you have a social media team? How many of you have this or that? And people were just looking at us like, because all they've heard is the bad stuff. It's going to hang around forever. We can't get rid of it, and it don't matter. But they really talked high about all of Laverne as a whole, and the good things that's going on, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to give those particular ones a big shout out. So, but it was really good to, and as Ronnie said, it's a guideline, it's a jest, and I get it. They talked about some stuff that I totally disagreed with, and I let them know it. So I'm surprised Bruce and the mayor ain't got no emails about it. But you know me, I'm not very much on keeping this mouth shut when it's something I feel strong about. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, Vice Mayor, while you and Alderman Coates and Alderwoman Haas were at the Elected Officials Academy with MTOS, I was also in Chattanooga with the Tennessee Municipal League Expo. And so went through some utility training, but did hear from various groups positive things as well about some of our staff. Some praise, just a little bit, for Ronnie Beasley, from the former fire chief with Nolensville. Glenn, the group with Laserfish, was very, very, very supportive about how you interact with them. Just about everybody was jealous of us from other cities when it comes to Mr. Andrew. He's making a pretty big name for himself. So they want to start replicating how you're doing things. So you're doing things well. And Bruce, they were even talking about you and how thorough and meticulous you go through all of this. So good work to all of the team. Heard some good things about Gary from what we talked about with Beth Meadows. So and the group that's working on our Station 3 revamping. So positive things, and you are making an impact beyond the borders of the city. So thank you. We appreciate you guys and what you are doing for our citizens and for the community at large. With that, this is something I've learned a little bit of from Vice Mayor No. So motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a second to adjourn.
All in favor? So moved.